All right, type F in the chat if you can hear me. Yep, put it in the workshop channel. Awesome, thank you. Because then we'll have the commentary in here for people to, like, who didn't make the presentation and everything. We'll have the commentary all in this chapter channel. Okay, this is starting off well, isn't it? Oh my god, there's so many of you. Yay! Professor. No, this is a very serious workshop, everyone. Very serious. I think the first slide has like 14 swears on it, so, you know, very, very serious. And give everybody a little bit more time to come show up, have fun. Professor Sev, yes. There's a kitten, not just Jay the kitten. So yeah, I've got the presentation on one screen and I've got the chat on another screen. So like at any time you can type into the channel if you've got a question and you don't really want to get on voice, that's totally fine. There's some Mailman Connor examples in here, no worry. I'm sorry, this is a very serious workshop. Very serious. Very serious. I have coffee and I have water, and you will probably hear me drinking because I actually have a really good mic for no reason, so apologies in advance. Yeah, old lady ASMRs go. Hello, this is Sev Dragomir, and you're here for the lost art of commenting and wrecking. I don't know why I did that voice. Awesome. Awesome. Like I said, all this is going to be available, and I am recording it, so like if that bothers you and you don't want to get, you don't want to talk out loud in voice because I'm recording, then nobody has to, all right? You can just, like I said, use the workshop channel, type your comments.
Record me harder, Daddy.
Okay, kitten. But yeah, so like if you have to leave, you know, the rest of it'll be available. So no worries. Yes. That's totally what I look like in real life. Absolutely. I am a 12-year-old girl. I am not a 40-something-year-old loser. Okay. All right. So, don't. Oh, I guess I'll say oh, am I supposed to know that? Am I supposed to know who that is? Because I don't. It just looks like blonde girl. Yeah, here's the Sev emoji. I'm not sure why it's an emoji, but anyway. It's Hannah Montana? And she was the show, right? Shut up, all of you. All of you, just shut up. No? Wait, what? I'm so confused. Several people are typing. I have a feeling that's going to happen a couple times. Let's say we'll wait till 12:05 in case people are, you know, like coming in, and then we'll get started. See, you guys don't even know. It's not just me. Wow, we're fighting on me in here. Stop. I can already tell this is going to be great. Whiteboard musical. Are those... I also don't know who that is. I have not seen High School Musical, and I will not, so do not ask. All right, 12:05. Got a lot of you. Let's get rolling. All right. Like I said, I put this together, and this is looking at feedback, how to comment, and how to feedback, like from beginner to advanced levels. Okay, so we got some comments in the exit poll about people who didn't even really know like how to start commenting. Okay, so there are parts here where if you're used to leaving comments on stuff, you may not, it might not be necessary to you, but there were people who really didn't even know where to start. So we're starting at very beginner, and then moving through some advanced levels, right? It's very serious. We are having no fun today at all. So, buckle in. Like I said, it's set up so that I can go through a couple sections, or a couple slides, go through a section, and then we'll sort of, pause and chat. And, if you've got questions or additional comments or whatever, we'll go from there. All right. So first question to ask, obviously, is why are comments important? Okay. Why does this matter? Okay. Basically as creators just fucking love hearing from people. Okay. We are in fandom, and we all create for ourselves, but we're not in fandom, to shout into a vacuum, right? Comments are specifically important because you can communicate specific things you liked about that work. All right. And the point of that is if you tell somebody that you like something specific, they might decide to make more of it. Okay. If I comment on an art and I'm like, wow, I really, really love how you drew Marcus's giant badonkadonk, right? Then that, so that artist is kind of sitting down there like, I'm in the mood to draw. I'm kind of wonder what I should draw and what's going to stick in their head. This comment, oh, somebody liked the way I drew Marcus's huge badonkadonk. I'm going to draw it again, right? Are you guys, there should be slides. Are they not sharing? Oh my God, my screen turned off. How about now? How about that? Oh, it disconnected me. Wow. There we go. How about that? Now can we see? Fuck you in particular. Yeah, it just disconnected me. Thank you for the help, Discord. That was wonderful. Oh, this bodes well. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you can communicate specific things that you liked about that work to kind of, you're too stupid to find it, to kind of help encourage, maybe they make more of it. It's also about enrichment in the fandom enclosure. We talk about keeping fandoms active, keeping fandoms happy, right? It's that kind of thing. And then, starting a conversation to make a new fandom friend. Now, I don't mean that, if you go comment on a bunch of art by somebody, then you can jump in their DMs and be like, yeah, we're besties now, right? I'm sorry. I'm going to depend on one of the artists to draw Marcus's huge badonkadonk for me here. But, I actually met, my first actual fandom friends that I met in person. We met each other online by commenting on each other's fics. Back in, I think we met in person the first time in 2005, and I do not need to know how many of you are not that old, okay? But, we literally just met, commenting on each other's fics and, talking about it, and then we kind of went to a forum, and then we went to LiveJournal, and then we ended up meeting up to go to a convention together, and we've been friends for 20 years now, which is older than some of you, which is horrifying. But, it is a way to make fandom friends and make connections like that. And then again, in the end, creators just fucking love hearing what you think about their stuff. All right. We get this. I don't know what to say. If you're an artist, you probably know how to comment on art. If you're a writer, you probably know how to comment on fic. But, how do you cross those streams, right? Well, if you're an artist, you can still read. I'm assuming people in the Discord can read. We don't have a bunch of Jared 19s in here, right? And you don't actually have to know a lot about fic to be able to leave a meaningful comment, all right? The fic tells a story. And if you listen to that story, like you're listening to a friend tell you a story about their day, you're gonna be fine. You'll figure out, you'll figure out what to leave in a comment. well, I'm a writer and I don't draw. Well, again, I assume you still have eyeballs, hopefully. You don't have to know anything detailed about art, to be able to tell your artist that you like it. Art captures a moment, okay? If you focus on that moment, like, your friend sent you a picture, all right, and you're looking at that particular picture, just focus on that and you'll figure it out, right? And the benefit is that because it's fandom, you can use that built-in common ground as your starting point if you actually don't know what to say, all right? So my eyeballs to the hat, man. Oh, no. So basically, there's a simple equation on how to comment, and everything that we go into after this is going to be, it all comes down to this, okay? Feral enthusiasm plus some specific thing that you liked about the work, okay? Every comment, no matter how short, how long, whatever, it comes down to this basic equation. That's all you need, okay? And I'm actually quoting Atro here, and I don't think she could show up, but it doesn't have to be coherent. It just has to be enthusiastic, all right? Everybody loves a nice coherent comment, but, you don't have to write a well-written paragraph of what you like, okay? Give us some enthusiasm, Uh-oh. And I know that somebody's going to say, why can't I just leave a like or a kudos, okay? Of course you can leave a like or a kudos, all right? Likes and kudos are great to get. The message they say is, I saw this and I clicked an extra button about it. And that's way more than a lot of fans do, all right? Like, if you go to AO3 and you look at the views on a fan fiction versus even just the number of kudos, let alone comments, you're lucky to get 10% of the people that looked at that fic clicking that kudos button, okay? If you look at, like, views on Twitter versus likes and reblogs and stuff like that, okay, it's insane how many people will look at stuff and they don't click that button, all right? So that's still very good feedback, all right? And if, like, likes and kudos, if you go through this and you're like, I really am not comfortable commenting, and likes and kudos are the limit of your interaction, that's okay, all right? It's still positive interaction with the fandom. The thing is that if you're here, in this stupid workshop, like, you probably want to learn how to leave better comments, right? So, like, we're going beyond likes and kudos not because they don't count. We're going beyond likes and kudos because this is a workshop for, people who want to comment better and don't know how or find it intimidating, or you're here to troll me, which I'm assuming is what Toast is doing. But, that's the thing, like, likes and kudos don't start those fandom conversations that are more important. Okay, people, and I've seen this in a lot of fandoms, people will go through and they'll say, I go through and kudos like anything without reading, okay, or without looking at it, There's another event I was in where somebody was like, well, I haven't gotten to read all your fics yet, but I kudos them. And it's like, well, okay, that's awesome, that's supportive, but it kind of implies that, like, the numbers and statistics are more important than, like, the actual engagement, and this whole workshop is about that feedback and the engagement, okay? So, like, it's, whatever, if you like doing that and that's your thing, that's fine. It's just our focus is going to be on leaving those comments, leaving those words, so. And, again, hard truth, in older fandoms, Detroit Become Human is 6 years old, right? I'm in fandoms. Final Fantasy IV came out in 1991. I do not need to know how many of you are younger than that. So in older fandoms, you kind of get what you give, okay? And, like, if you comment on work, that person's not only, like, going to feel better about their stuff and know that their stuff is being seen, and be more likely to keep creating, they're more likely to click through and see what you have for the fandom, all right? If I'm in, get a comment and they say, I really, really like this interpretation of Crowley from Good Omens, all right? I'm going to click on their name and be like, you like that? I like that. Have you written it? Do you have some, talk about 2 cakes. Do you have some cake I can take back, right? So, you got to put it out there to kind of get it back. Especially, DBH is just going to get older. So more cakes. Yes, exactly. We all want more cake. Yes, I know. Now I want cake. All I have is coffee. All right, so we're going to start how to start commenting. I've got a table on the next slide to kind of go through, and then if anybody wants to jump in and talk or, comment or whatever, the point is all comments are good, obviously, but the higher in level, we're talking about this and, like, we're leveling, okay? We're playing an RPG. So your higher level comments are going to have a bigger impact. Nope. There. Oh my goodness, can you stop? Okay. 157 views. I mean, that's fair. That is fair. It's sometimes due to rereads, but, you know, also... Toast. You realize I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it on the screen in the video at this part right here, so everybody who watches the video can see it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So here are kind of, you know, your first like levels of commenting, all right? And level 1 obviously is just say something. And again, here's just, you know, express your enthusiasm any way that's easiest for you. Level 1, you know, if you're one of those people who was intimidated about leaving comments, just, again, say anything, all right? Leave an emoji, leave a scream, all right? The I'm eating this, unfortunately, is a self-drag here. I once commented on someone's fic, and I said I was going to print it out and make lasagna out of it. I don't know why I said that, but it was the best thing I could think of at the time, right? So you want to leave something a little bit more meaningful. Level 2 is just pick one thing that you like. Okay, pick one thing that you like from that art or from that fic, and then tell them what it is, okay? And if you can't think of anything, use that fandom common ground, okay? If it's Marcus's badonkadonk, you know, then, you know, just say, I love Marcus and his giant badonkadonk, all right? Like, it, you know, he was my favorite character in the game. Just use that game to kind of, you know, oh dear. What are you doing? Yes, fic lasagna. You know, use that to sort of, help you leave something in that comment. And there's some examples here, you know, on things you can say for art and for fic, like, you know, just, but it's really easy to just pick one thing that you like, tell them that one thing. Bam. Done. Level up. All right. Yes. Well, I do this professionally, obviously. So like levels 3 and up, we're going to get into specifics for art and fic in a little bit. But like for level 3 and up, you can elaborate on the specifics, all right? Pick a few things you like and don't just tell them what you like about it. Why do you like it? Did it make you think or feel about something, right? You know, oh man, you're shading fucks. It's so good, you know, or this plot twist drove me insane, right? And again, it's all that same formula. Oh, okay. Yep. That one's also going up on the screen. I like that we're collaborating here. All right, it's collaborative art. I'm digging it. Who's gonna contribute next? I love this. It's a workshop and a project. I'm trying to draw his ass here. Wow. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So I think next we've got we're gonna focus on art for a bit. So if anybody has anything that they want to add, feel free. Otherwise, we'll just move on. Anything to add that's not the badonkadonk, I guess. Actually, Ed, I have examples on that. All right, on how to quote fic, because that one came up with a lot of the writers that I talked to. Yep. All right, well, let's go to artists, right? How to hype art, okay? And there are 2 key steps here, all right? Promoting visibility through tagged share. Oh my God, can I talk? Tagged sharing, right? And then talking about the specifics. Now, why is the first one important? All right, artists, obviously they love feedback. They love comments. All right, but these days, every artist is fighting against some fucking horrible algorithm, you know, that Instagram just installed some other day, Tumblr's stupid shitty search engine, right? So like, art's visual being looked at is the whole point. The first and easiest thing you can do is share those posts, all right? Share them, tag them. And what does that tell the artist? Okay, it says you liked this work enough that you want other people to see it. All right? And that's fucking dope, basically. Share the art, all right? Now, no, never repost an artist's work as your own. I shouldn't have to say this in the year of our good Lord 2024, but, you know, just in case anybody was curious, never do that. Always share their post, all right? Use the fandom tags to help other people find the art. You know, if you comment in text and you write, wow, Marcus's badonkadonk looks great here, all right? The next person might comment, yeah, same, I love it, right? That's cool. Comment in the tags, then, you know, the next reblogger might use your tags or remove your tags if you're being silly. No, you're absolutely right. The likes to reblog, Tumblr has gotten, especially, people use likes as if that's going to help anyone except them. Likes are basically only saving the art for you in a special Tumblr folder. Nobody looks at somebody else's likes on Tumblr. So the very first easiest thing you can do to support art is reblog it with those tags. All right. Just share the post. Nice and easy. So you want to comment on art, you want to level up. Okay. So artists like, when you focus on some specific things. And so I've kind of listed a couple art concepts that, if there's something about that particular piece that you really like, that's one of these concepts. These are all things that artists think about when they're drawing. Okay. What's your color palette? How are you shading? What mood are you going for? Does the composition of the work speak to you in a certain way? Okay. So I've kind of left these here as references in case, you may not think composition when you look at it, but maybe you're like, wow, like the shape of this is really good. Here you go. Things to do to really make an artist stay, right? Look at that that scene or that moment. And look at the details, okay? Small detail, a pose, a specific scar, okay? Hands touching somebody, okay? Stuff like that, all right? If you specifically, those things that probably took them a lot of time, they're going to love that you noticed it, right? Did it make you feel something? Okay. What do you think is happening in this scene? Okay. Like, would you write it? What happens next? Just, if you're looking at it and you're like, wow, I bet next they go into the bathroom and they fuck, right? And one other thing to point out is if the art stuck in your head so much that like you came back to find it or came back to look at it, all right, definitely tell them, because knowing that somebody was thinking about their art, like in a different situation and then came back to see it, that's huge. All right. So if, you were like, I was thinking about this piece and so I came back so that I could reblog it again. Definitely. Oh, wow. Okay. That's it. There we go. We are making magic today, friends. Right. So I have some examples, from artists to, yes, God bless, share. So first, commenting in the replies, okay, like in the like on Twitter, on Instagram, in an actual reply, okay. Just some examples for you guys to go through. These were all shared with me as comments that people particularly appreciated, all right, and it, it's enthusiasm, talking about something specific in that artwork, all right, and how that person felt, okay. So, take a look. Enjoy these beautiful, beautiful comments. If you are wondering what kind of comments artists like to get, they don't have to be, complicated, okay? Eat him, all right? That's a good comment. Commenting on specifics, again, the line work, okay? The expression, all right? He's so soft looking, things like that, all right? These are all, positives that you don't have to write a novel, okay? You can just kind of comment like that. Now, some people also like to comment in tags. So the next examples I have to share with you, all right, coming in tags is a bit more chaotic, right? But, it gets that enthusiasm across and, you can share that enthusiasm while also pointing out the genuine reaction that you're having. Okay, let's take this one right here. Okay, it starts off with your fandom tags, right? So that other people will be able to find the work. And then it follows up with what looks like a 10-word key smash that ends in bitch. Okay. So like, yes. So this person, is automatically, again, sharing with the tags, expressing enthusiasm, and then calls out some specific things about that work. Right. I feel like I just experienced every drug at once, but in a good way. Okay. That's awesome. That's beautiful. All right. So, take a look, enjoy these for a second. Oh, is it? Because I'll comment after a reblog. Is it okay, artists? Is it considered rude if, like, I reblog and I put something in the text of the post rather than in the comments? Like, yeah. Both is good. We like both? Okay, excellent. For people watching the video, group consensus is both are okay. Do whatever you're more comfortable with, I think. So, again, here. Spent an hour and a half trying to find this because I need everyone to see it. That's one of those, again, multiple artists kind of said, if you're coming back to an art because it's stuck in your head, that's something that just kind of makes their day to know. All right. So, and my personal favorite on here is I'm shitsing. All right. So thank you for that one. But all of these are really good. And again, they'll be in the presentation if you want to come back and kind of read, So next up is fic, but I figure if anybody has commenting on art that you want to, for shits and giggles, yes. Anything that we didn't hit? Yeah, it's funny because I reached out to different artists and different kinds of artists who had completely different styles. And like everybody had the same things to say. So like it really is kind of universal what, how best to feed your artist, right? My mouse saved place. Jay, it's the meme again. All right, cool. Let's dive into fic. Okay, fic and art, obviously they're two different kinds of creatures, right? So when you're looking to leave a comment on a fic, I pulled out another 2 key steps. Talk about specifics and cite your favorite bit. For fic, it's the response and the feedback are key, okay? AO3 is really searchable. There's no algorithm fighting us, okay? Character and pairing tags work really well to search, all right? So writers aren't necessarily looking to be visible, all right? Writers are struggling with feeling like they're screaming words into an empty void, okay? So like, bye, thank you for joining. It's like seeing the fic, means little, and again, if you want to reblog it on your social media for extra exposure, it's always good. Getting more eyes on a fic is always good, but views alone don't drive writers, okay? The concept to think of is this writer made a ton of words and shared them with fandom. They want words back, okay? They love getting words back. That's kind of feed them the words back. So if you're coming on fic, okay, writing concepts to consider, again, writers are usually thinking about these, okay? Now, in a shorter fic, plot and pacing may not be as important, but the themes and the imagery, like in a 200, 300 word fic, still important, okay? So, what's it saying to you? Fic is telling a story, all right? It's a series of sentences, even again, shorter one scene fics, okay? It's still a series of things that are happening. So what was interesting, what glued you to the screen, right? Comments that specifically reference those details in a fic, okay? Particularly meaningful scene, meaningful line, the characterization, something like that. Here's one thing to point out, okay? Could you picture it in your head as you were reading it? Could you see the characters doing it? Or did you hear the characters' voices when you were reading the dialogue, all right? That's a huge compliment to an author, all right? If you either visualized or you could hear them, all right? That is fucking comment gold, okay? And then can you guess what's coming next, which we're going to talk about chapter fics in a little bit. I want to go through a couple examples for you first, right? Yes, good point. I don't want to know how many people saw my stuff. I want to know how you felt, what you experienced. Yes, exactly. So I've concluded 2 different kinds of comments. Okay, one being the short but unique comments that, really just slipped see all the characters doing it, sorry. That just kind of stick with you. And then long descriptive commentary about what you specifically liked about a fic, okay? And authors, again, like both of these kinds of comments, okay? I love when somebody takes the time to write a couple paragraphs about what's going on in my story, what it made them think, what it made them feel, what they liked about it, where it's going, all right? That's great. Then you have, how many leprechauns did you shank for this level of humor, okay? Those comments are just as, it's a different kind of impact, but they're just as impactful. So like there are, so if I'm coming to your house to kill you, okay, that was actually worms. You might be better at one than the other. They're both going to have an impact on your writer, and don't feel bad if, you tend more towards one than the other, because they're all appreciated, right? You want to really level up, okay? Quoting the author is amazing. It's a great, easy way to make that writer's day. If a specific line that you liked, you think nailed it, quote it. Put it in your comment, all right? And, I've seen people do this. Here's one where, actual quotes. Here's one where this person used brackets to represent what was the writer's language and what they're saying about it. Here's a quote in italics, and here's someone who's actually using block quotes to do this, all right? But this is like, it's like food, okay? It's like feeding your author cake, all right? When you pull out a line or two that you really think fucked, and then you put it in your comment, all right? It's a really easy way to express that, specific enthusiasm when people comment like this. Really? Do we have to? But yeah, that's fair. Yes, that's exactly. It is like hot dogs to the face, but in a positive way. Hot dog haters don't interact. And then there's the fact that, fics, yes, there's some serial art, like comics, but most art is a single scene that stands alone, okay? Fan fiction, there's a lot of, especially in an event like this where we're aiming for longer fics, there's a lot of, works that come in multiple chapters, right? Sharing your thoughts as you go through the fic, like, not only gives the writer immense, like, satisfaction to read what you were thinking at that time, but it also, if that work is still ongoing, it helps them keep going, all right? So, like, consider, rather than, like, waiting till the last chapter, consider commenting on every chapter, all right? And talk about the things that are being pulled through that story, okay? Like, what happened in that chapter that was resolved in the story? What happened, what was surprising? What's still open, all right? Did something happen in that chapter that you think is going to be important? All right. Try to guess what happens in the next chapter. Now, in this case, you want to, be curious rather than demanding, be like, man, I wonder if we get to see Marcus's badonkadonk next chapter rather than I better see it or I'm out. Right. So no, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Quote it. Yes, it's more work for you. Okay. Commenting on every chapter instead of going to the end. But like, it makes my day, like when I'm looking at my Good Omens fic that's finished and I see somebody and they're commenting every couple chapters, and to see the process that the thought process that they went through while they were reading, right? The preference would, my preference, I would say, yes. A comment on each chapter is amazing, incredible. Now, people don't have to do that, all right? If you don't have the energy to comment on every chapter, then obviously don't feel pressured to. But like, if you get to the end of the chapter and you have thoughts about that chapter and you're kind of thinking about what's going to happen next, we want that food. We want that food. Even if it's a finished fic, okay? Like, it's just watching, what the live reaction, exactly. Watching, what you're doing and how you think things are going to turn out in the next chapter. And at the end, that's food. Now, again, as a caveat, I know a lot of people don't like to read work while it's still in progress. Okay, I know a lot of people filter by completed fics only, and that's totally fine. Okay, if that is your preference, then that's okay. But again, we're talking about feedback and how to encourage enthusiasm. Okay, so if you're sad that an author isn't working on their work, feeding them that comment is one of the easiest ways to get them interested in continuing that work. Yes, you are never being annoying. If that's your worry, if that's what you're, if you're worried that you're going to be annoying, no, it is not annoying. It is awesome. A lot of authors like to reply. Some don't. I'll reply to everybody's first comment on my fic. I have a commenter who just kind of likes to leave a rainbow of emojis, and I smile every time when I see it. I don't really need to reply to it because it's just a rainbow of emojis saying that they were here. Every now and then I'll reply and say, thank you for sticking with the fic, right? If somebody points out something interesting in a comment, obviously I'm going to reply, Now, I want to move on real quick to other kinds of media. This is a lot of text on this slide. I'm not going to read it out loud to you. It's more recognizing that podfic, GIFs, and fanvids are all fan works in their own special way. And they also deserve, to get comments and feedback, things like that. It's the same formula, right? Enthusiasm plus something specific, all right? Like podfic. Okay, that requires good recording equipment, good editing software, clean, crisp editing. That's very hard to do in today's environment when you've always got background noise everywhere, right? And with podfic, you want to make sure that like comments on the fic are nice, but like they didn't write the fic. They're the one making it audible. So, just little thing. Again, I'm not going to read it all. Just little things to consider. Yeah, GIFs. People who make GIFs. I don't think people realize how much work goes into that. Reworking the visual material, doing your color balancing, and then sometimes they add effects on top, right? Layers, fades, stuff like that. And again, in our event, we require a minimum of 4 GIFs in a final collection. That kind of helps. You can't just GIF DBH for the event, right? We wanted to represent a new concept or whatever, but, there are people who make GIFs that, have joined our event. People make fanvids for the event, okay? So again, these, just because it's not traditional art, they also deserve that feedback and that support and that encouragement. So there are just some things to think about, like how you might run into it in this event specifically, but also things, what steps did you find the most impressive? You can even get technical with it. Like, holy shit, the way that you recolored that is amazing. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that more non-traditional kinds of fan work also get represented in this presentation. So, all right, so anyway, I want to get a little bit into what not to do. And it's not, things that are necessarily bad. It's just to be aware of your phrasing when you're commenting, because I've gotten some feedback from writers and artists that, like, I'm sure this person meant well, but blank, right? So just a little bit of like advice to keep in mind when you are leaving comments. Okay. Criticism. And we're going to go into constructive criticism in a little bit. My fingers are fingering. Yeah, that's okay. We're going to dive into Concrit a little bit because it's a big, it comes back every 3 or 4 years as a big fandom issue. Why can't I leave Concrit? Okay. It's just usually not worth the risk, right? But we're going to talk about it in a little bit. All right. Things not to do, make it all about you, okay? Like, I like how you draw X. I draw him 2-bit differently. My X wears a red shirt, and he wears Converse sneakers all the time. Your X is more popular. I wonder why people don't like mine, You're making it all about you. The comment's supposed to be about the work that was posted, right? Could you write or draw? And this is one where the phrasing is what matters, okay? Could you write a scene where Marcus takes off his pants, right? That's what commissions are for, right? I know a lot of artists, aren't necessarily open to commissions, but, they've got like a Ko-fi or something. You could, throw a couple bucks at them and, see if they want to draw it. All right. Writers also take commissions. We're just more quiet about it because we're aware of the legal gray area between AO3, right? So this is one where you're phrasing, if you say, I'd love to see why in your style, or I'd love to see your take on that. All right. That's a much more approachable way of mentioning it without like demanding it. Yes. Yeah. Draw me. Yeah. And it's exactly, oh, you draw this. Well, so while you can say, I'd love to see Kara in your style or something like that. That's a compliment, because you're still appreciating their style, but you aren't demanding it. And it actually turns people off. Again, the same with demanding updates or more art. Okay. Enthusiasm and wanting more. Again, especially, we're looking at the issue of works in progress and unfinished fics. Okay. Enthusiasm about wanting that story to continue is awesome. All right. Acting like the creator owes you, especially, and it's something that I've seen more on other sites. AO3 doesn't do it as much, but I left you a comment, now you have to update, that kind of attitude. All right. I've seen writers actually abandon fics, because they felt too pressured by their commenters, and the pressure to update and update well was too much. And so they abandoned the fic. I've seen it happen. Mentioning stuff you don't like. And this is another one where I think people usually don't realize what they're doing. Yeah. Okay. This fic is so good it needs a sequel. That's enthusiasm. That's good. Being like, I demand a sequel now. Obviously not saying that you did that, but that's kind of the line there again. And it's more about your approach and your phrasing. Like, if you wanted to write more, I would eat it up with a spoon. Awesome. I need to see what happens next or I'll never read your fic again. Like, yes, big difference. Big difference. Anyway, mentioning stuff that you don't like. All right. And I think people don't realize that they're doing that. I'm glad you're creating this pairing because I don't like this other pairing. All right. Maybe your artist really likes that other pairing. Okay. And this is the first time they've drawn XY, right? Now they're going to kind of be sitting, well, this person isn't going to like any of my other stuff because it's this pairing that they don't like. That sucks, right? So you've turned your comment into a negative, right? I usually don't like blank, but yours is really good. And that doesn't always land the way you want it to. I get people, yes. I get people, I don't like Hank, but yours is really, really good. Well, like, okay, if you didn't like Hank, then why did you read my Hank fic? Were you gonna like hate read it? Did it just surprise you? Like, it doesn't come across the way that people think it does, right? And again, I love the character C as a dick. I hate when people write him soft. Well, maybe that writer is working on that interpretation too. All right. Writers like to play with different approaches, just like artists do. Okay. So like, and I don't know why people need to mention stuff that you don't like when it's really easy to just focus on like what you do like, especially if it's not even related to the art, right? Like, oh, you know, I love your Kara Luther art. I hate blank. Like, yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's about, you know, being supportive of that particular work, right? And then preference nitpicking, and this is kind of what Team was mentioning earlier, okay? I would have preferred if, you know, character X was the one on the bottom, right? I don't think character A would do that. It's close enough, like, to Concrit for a lot of characters, or for a lot of creators, and, like, things like characterization, especially in DBH, where, as shitty as the writing is, the choices in the game can have an effect on the characterization that you're using at that particular time, right? And so, like, I don't think... you know, a comment like, I really don't think that A is in character. All right, cool. Good for you. Like, it's not really going to help, right? I want to get into constructive criticism, again, because it's such a hot topic, okay? Concrit is constructive criticism, and it looks at a fan work and it points out mistakes, errors, areas that could use improvement, okay? Things that the person leaving the crit maybe doesn't like or doesn't think it works, all right? No, that's exactly what I mean. I usually don't like blank, but I like this, all right? And it doesn't, I think people mean it as a compliment, like your art's so good that it overcame my dislike for whatever, but it doesn't always come across that way. And it's hard to put why it doesn't work, but like, and you know, then you've got the problem of like, you know, yeah. Yes, I don't like this, but, you know, and I've seen it for some problematic things, right? Like, I usually don't like Trans Gavin, but I like this one. Well, okay, why do you not normally like Trans Gavin? Maybe there's something else you need to look at there, right? So, well, and it's another place where I think that it can be said in a genuine way. It's just, if you're going to leave a comment with that, you should probably consider the phrasing of the comment a little more carefully before you leave it, right? I think that's totally fair. Well, and again, I think that it's the phrasing. I think that, you know, if you are careful to say it in a way that communicates the enthusiasm, that's good. I've seen people be very thoughtless about it. So yeah. I don't even go. Yeah. I mean, especially with art, you know, if it's an art and you can kind of appreciate it without the context of the fandom. Actually, honestly, I'm, you know, Jay sends me snippets from a fic that they're writing in a fandom. I don't even know. I don't know half the characters, you know, but if it's a funny snippet, I'll read it. Yeah. And again, it's about, you know, what that artist or writer could have going on in the background, you know, and I don't usually like, you know, looking at Marcus's giant badonkadonk, but I really like your badonkadonk, right? And again, who doesn't like looking at Marcus's badonkadonk, but, in front of my salad? I'm losing it. Oh, sorry, moving in my chair. I think that's it. Okay, like, you know, usually I hate Marcus North, but I like your interpretation. This person might be the biggest Marcus North shipper in the world. All right, and I think that's why it comes across, you know, with that slightly sour, you're not getting 100% of the comment, right? So I love the phrasing. I like all these phrasings. Back to constructive criticism, all right? And why we give or don't give constructive criticism, right? People who are pro-Concrit, all right, they cite the constructive part. Okay, their intentions are to help that person improve their skills. Yes, I have Concrit on your badonkadonk, thanks. But the evidence actually shows that, like, this kind of unsolicited or unexpected Concrit, like, creators don't react positively to it, okay? Unless they're specifically asking for it. Yes, my autocorrect tried to make it say Concrete every single fucking time, and I almost became the fucking Joker last night working on it. It was insane. I was so mad. So, anyway, I've seen people abandon works or even delete the work that got the Concrit, or they'll double down out of spite. They'll be like, oh, you know, you think that my, I was about to put on the biggest talent show, kitten. Biggest talent show in the world. You know, they'll even double down. You think, you know, you don't think my, Kara is in character, well, I'm going to make it worse, right? And the considerations for Concrit, all right? Giving Concrit in the event server when somebody specifically posts something and says, I can't make this, facial anatomy work. Can somebody help me? Or I am struggling with this sentence. Can I get some help on it, right? Giving Concrit in that kind of context is completely different than leaving a public comment on a posted work, right? And that's the second thing to consider is the timing. Is that work still in progress or was it finished and posted? Again, are you seeing it as a beta or are you seeing it in the event server as it's being worked on? Or did somebody post it on AO3, all right? Because usually when we post something on AO3, we're fucking tired of looking at it, all right? So, what's the type of Concrit that you're considering giving? Okay, pointing out a few typos. Usually that's really helpful, all right? Somebody drew a left hand instead of a right hand. Maybe, might be nice to know, but they also might just be done with that artwork, right? Your anatomy is so wrong. Your characterization of X is way off. All right, that's very different than like, hey, you misspelled this, right? Tone and intention, okay? Again, are you also complimenting the work? Do you want to help that creator get better? Or are you just trying to point out your mistake? Yes, actually, next slide says exactly that, Ed. You are reading my mind. Yeah, are you actually? And then consent, okay? Some creators love Concrit, okay? They are open for it. They will put in their profile, feel free to give me constructive criticism, all right? So like, did they specifically ask for it on this work or on this chapter, or is there a statement in their profile? And again, what it comes down to is the risk. Are you willing to risk the creator abandoning or deleting this work or not continuing any future works, right? Yes, exactly. So here's the thing. Can't I ask if they want Concrit, all right? And that's the problem. Are you open to constructive criticism makes it obvious that you think there's something wrong with their work, okay? So even asking has that risk of, making that creator just shut down, all right? Because then they're going to go back and they're going to be like, there's something wrong with this. There's something that this person didn't like. They're asking if I'm open to constructive criticism. I don't know if I am, right? So I have this quote here from Long Live Feedback. It's a Tumblr project, and they actually have a lot of really good stuff on how to leave feedback, how to comment, how to do that kind of thing, right? Excuse me. And the quote here is, if you're serious about giving Concrit, make sure that you're prepared to commit to answering questions and having conversations about why you think something works or doesn't work, all right? So if you're serious about it and you are going to take that risk in offering, you need to commit, all right? So how can you do it? Offer to be their beta, all right? Do you have a beta or are you interested in having one? I noticed a couple small things. Second pair of eyes might help. This is, again, still risky, all right? And every creator has the right to say, no, I'm not interested in that, all right? A lot of times we post a work, like Maddie was saying, we post a work and we're done. We want to move on, right? And that's kind of how you learn. You have to finish things and then you have to move on to the next thing, right? That, cycle of completing a work. Sometimes you don't want to go back in and do it, right? But the thing about offering to help them, it makes you a helper. It makes you their accomplice. You're not a critic, okay? You're not their adversary, all right? You're on their side, okay? And again, if you aren't interested in helping them improve by actually engaging with the work and doing that work as a beta, then maybe don't leave Concrit. It should be that easy. And we are going to have a future workshop on betaing, how you can get better at editing your own fic, what a beta can offer you, how you could become a beta. That's one of the next ones that I have in the works, maybe for next month, probably. People comment on things I've missed as a positive thing that they, okay. Oh, I know, I forgot that. Yours are so asymmetrical. That's so funny. And yes, you're absolutely right. If you put it on the internet, you should be open to criticism. And we're never going to stop people from doing that. But as an event server, we like to be better than that. Which is why we kind of, only Concrit in the server if it's being asked for. And people should feel free to ask for it. We encourage people to try to make their work better. But, this is kind of why, if you are reading something and you're like, this could be better with just this kind of tiny little change or a little bit this and that. If you aren't interested in actually doing the work, then it's probably not your place. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That was the theme of this fic. Thank you for telling me. I didn't know. All right, so here's what it comes down to. Sev, what if it's bad? What if this actually fucking sucks, right? What if I just read the worst fic of all time? What if I am looking at this art and the face looks like a gremlin? What do I do? Just walk out, okay? Just back out. If you don't like it, just leave, all right? I'm sorry, it didn't float your boat. But you know what? Fan creators get to be bad, all right? They get to be new, and they get to suck, okay? Everybody has an off day, you know? We all started somewhere. Plus, you are not the fandom police. There are no fandom police, right? There are no fandom police, okay? It's a community. You don't have to like everything in fandom. It doesn't have to be your pairing. It doesn't have to be the characterization that you like. It doesn't have to be that. But it costs you $0 to just click out of it, right? Yep. And if you really can't hold it in, DM a friend, okay? Vent privately. Don't take it out. And I realize that, like, probably nobody here would actually do this, but, you know, it does need to be said. If you don't like something, just hit the bricks, right? Hit the bricks. Yes, find a salt friend. You can be salty in private. In public. I'm salty in public. You can be salty in private. That's totally fine. You know, just don't put that fan creator through your bad thing in my Caesar salad. I'm not eating it, right? All right. So conclusions. We are almost done, friends. Whether it's art or fic or some other kind of fan work, all right, learning how to comment, leveling up, it is the same thing. Tell them something you like, tell them why you liked it, and then just do it a little harder every single time, all right? And that practice, like any other skill, practice makes perfect, right? And reference specific things you like about the work. Engage with what it made you think or feel, okay? As everybody's been saying in the chat, that's what, you know, everybody loves. P. Marcus Badonkadonk. Yes. And like I said, you know, you don't have to start on level 5 commenting. You can start on level 2, level 3. Those, as you saw in some of the examples, those comments are just as impactful. And we had talked about this before, okay, bonus level, becoming a regular, all right? And this is people who, you know, you go through everybody's old works and like reblog every single artwork this person drew of Marcus's Badonkadonk, right? That's not creepy. That's awesome. You know, you go through our old works and comment on all of them, all right? You come back for the next chapter. I recognize when people come back to the next chapters, right? So, like, everybody stands a repeat commenter, all right? It's not weird. It's not awkward. It is awesome, okay? And it means a lot to see that somebody liked your stuff so much that they went through your old stuff. Or somebody liked your stuff so much that they're showing up for your new stuff, okay? Yes, there is a little shrine, you know, and you get tiny little cakes and, you know, all of the water that you need to hydrate. Like, it's amazing. And I've seen so many people, like, new fandom people, like, is this weird? Is it creepy? Do people like that? Yes, we love it. We love it. Like, everybody loves it. So, and yeah, we all want the fandom to keep going. We're all here for that. Yep. There are some people who, you know, they will all get personalized gifts with a check inside. Yes. As long as you aren't expecting something, okay? You know, you, like I said, you don't get to go on somebody's blog and reblog all their stuff and then jump in their DMs and be like, we're best friends now. Hello. Can I have your address? Like, obviously, right? You know, we all see those names. We all see those people who, you know, come back and do that. And that's really kind of how you make that fandom connection. All right. Yes. Okay. I did just jump in your DMs like, hello. But you know what? Yeah. And then we met in person. So, you know, yeah. Yeah. And sometimes, yeah, I mean, you know, I love when people jump in my DMs. Then that's why. And I think that you can kind of, you know, like at the end of a chapter, I'll say, here's where you can find me on Tumblr and here's where you can find me on Discord. All right. So I'm inviting people to jump in my DMs. All right. You know, so like, I think if that invitation is made, you shouldn't feel awkward about it. Just kind of, you know, it's right there. Oh, it's my niece. It's my baby. Yes. Yep. Asking for more stuff. You know, or saying like, I reblogged your art, but I really wanted to get in touch with you specifically and, like tell you that I loved this, all right? Like a more specific DM. That's always awesome. It's always awesome, right? Okay, so the rest of this is about how to make a rec post, which is really, 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 it's a lost art in fandom that I want to get into. Do we want it's almost over. So I was going to say we could take a 2-minute break, but like, there's probably no point. Yeah, okay, I am old. I am a fandom old. I remember when rec posts were a big thing. I fucking love rec posts, okay? And that's why I wanted to end this on how to make a rec post. You know what, Toast? You can get out. No, I'm kidding. So rec post is a collection of works, usually with a theme that you are personally recommending to other fans, okay? They require a bit more work, but they are like true gold in fandom, especially now that everybody is up against the algorithms and the pressure to post continuously so that your old stuff gets more attention, stuff like that, all right? And it's really, really like, it's a lost art, and I would love to see it come back. And I actually, while I was researching for this particular workshop, I found something that's really cool that I think we should do on the off season. So where to start with a rec post? We're going to kind of go through this, right? Pick your theme, okay? And it can be as broad or as specific. Everyone throws tomatoes at the algorithm. Yes, basically, right? So pick a theme, all right? And, you can just say, like, my favorite works from this event, or, good works for this pairing, arts of Marcus's Badonkadonk that made me want to print them out and eat them, right? Just pick a theme. And, you don't even have to have a theme. You can just say stuff I like, right? And the key is to curate your works, okay? You're like putting together a charcuterie board, okay? And you are presenting them to your friends, all right? Looking for the target audience. Okay, yeah, offering a fandom a tasting menu, all right? Like the off season. Well, I mean, we have an off season. So yeah, and then explain your reasons, all right? For each work, explain why you want other people to see and experience it, okay? It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be in depth. Just point out like why you like that art or why you like that fic, right? Just a few things like why you are recking that particular work, right? And like warnings are appropriate in recs. Warning, there's smut in this. Okay, warning, there's what are the creators of those fics you like okay with? I don't think anyone would be mad to find themselves on a rec post. It means someone liked your stuff enough to specifically recommend it to other people. Like, that's incredibly flattering. Yes. However, it is important when you're making a rec post to read the room, okay? Be aware that your rec posts aren't happening in a vacuum. There's a context to it, all right? So like, for example, if you're in an event that had 12 fan works made and you rec 11 of them, all right, you're making a statement, okay? How would you feel if somebody made a rec post and didn't include yours, all right? Now, if you're in a big event with a lot of stuff and there's just, some characters and pairings that don't do it for you, we're not expecting you to rec anything that you don't like, obviously. But, read the room. I've been in smaller events where people will rec all but 2 of the fan works. And it's like, did you really mean to do that? Did you really, really mean to do that? Like, really? So just, be aware of the context. And again, like we were talking earlier about bringing up the negatives and the positives, right? Be careful not to turn off fans of things that you might not have included. All right. So like this rec post focuses on this pairing from this event, right? You don't want to be like, this post has everything from this event that's good, because that has connotations to the works that aren't on there, right? Like we don't want to make implications with a rec post, of why things aren't on there. All right. And that's kind of why it's also important to pick your theme. Okay. We don't have to include everybody in the party. Yeah. Oh yes. Links are obviously a necessity. Yeah. I've got some examples coming up. So like, you never have to rec work that you're not a fan of, but rec posts don't happen in a vacuum. So just kind of be aware and make sure that you're being positive, right? Here are some examples, for fic rec posts. All right. And I took these from Winterhawk Fandom, which is actually one of the small corners of Marvel fandom that still does rec posts. And it's awesome. All right. This particular version, they just use the AO3 descriptions for the fics. So you link your fic here and credit your author, right? They use the AO3 description for the fic, and then they have a note. Okay, this is one of my ultimate comfort fics. All right, link to the fic here, the author's name here. This is the AO3 description, and then note this is the fic I never shut up about. Okay, so like here's a very simple way you're using what the author called their fic, or used for their description on AO3. So you're not adding anything, and then you're talking about why you particularly like that. All right. Yeah, the links are important. You don't want somebody to like have to go digging for stuff. The second example here, there's an intro about why they picked these fics. What the goal, was, what their theme is here, right? And then after that introduction, here we go. We have the link to the fic. We have the person's name. This person included a word count, important tags, right? So this person just copied the AO3 description. This person copied over some of the tags, right? Multiple ways to do it. They're all still good. They have notes about why they like this particular work. And then they were reckoning to somebody who didn't want to read a lot of smut. So they actually have done an analysis for each fic about, whether you can skip the smut or, how much of it is there, right? So that's a second way to do it. Here's one that I found. This is what I think was really cool. All right. Somebody had a summer fic reading bingo. All right. And this person, it's a rec bingo. They had this bingo. You had to find a fic that, read a fic that covered each of these, right? And then this person turned it into a rec post, which is freaking awesome. All right. And again, you'll see, here's the link. Here's the author. Here's what fandom it was. And then here's the, why they think people should read it. It's really cool. This is what I want to do, like maybe early next year before the next round starts. I think having like a bingo, a fic reading, wrecking bingo would be fun. I think it would be fun. It wouldn't be limited to event works, but it could kind of help promo some of the event works. I think would be a cool thing to do. Here's some examples for art, okay? And it's the same thing. Link to the art, credit the art, tell us what's in the art, warn for any content. Warnings are especially significant for art, all right? If you click on like a porn fic, probably nobody's going to be able to like, see the word penis on your phone. But if you click on like an artwork with a penis, like people are going to see that. So yes. Okay. So I took this, my friend Renee actually wrote this. All of these examples are taken from Lady Business. So you can go to the link there if you want to see, they do this thing. They're very pro fandom, and they do this thing where they, rec works that they particularly like. And Renee, this was there was a duck stamp competition, and so she decided to rec a bunch of the ducks, and I thought this format was really cute. Here are some other like more fandom related, what is it, a vid, what's the fandom, a link to it, who's the author, who's in it, and then why do you like it. All right, same formula, just done for art. Here's one with caution warning, blood. Again, it's more warn for these things, if you think they're significant anyway, but it's more important to warn with art because it's, visual, basically. All right. And so like why rec posts are god tier. Okay. It's better than the algorithm. It's even better than a search function, search function where you can sort by bookmarks or sort by kudos or whatever, right? There's a human being behind it. Okay, there's a human being saying, I liked this so much, I want you to put your eyeballs on it, right? You can also reveal hidden gems, okay? Like the algorithm is going to push popular stuff to the top. AO3 search function, people search by kudos or bookmarks or whatever, it's still going to have the most popular things at the top, all right? If you're looking at somebody's rec post, you're going to find those fics you may not find otherwise that person specifically liked, and, figure out why they like them, all right? Make fandom friends. Again, being wrecked is flattering. Okay, it is awesome to have somebody include you on a rec post. It's a big deal. But it doesn't only work in that way. Okay, you can scream about other people with your friends. Okay, like, oh my God, you wrecked Toast's art of Marcus's Badonkadonk. I love that art, right? So it kind of, again, it helps build that community aspect that we're looking. And can you self-rec? Sure you can, all right? If you are making a rec post and you want to include something that you wrote that matches whatever theme you picked, you can include it, Making a rec post all on yourself is maybe you could do that. I'm not going to say no. Okay, you can self-promo as much as you want, but, you know, you can totally include yourself in a rec post if you think you made something that meets that level of excitement. And that's it. That's what I've got. I hope that it was important. At least it was fun. I had fun. Again, thanks to all the people who, you know, shared their comments as examples here. It was really helpful getting that. It was really helpful. Everybody I reached out for feedback. I do so many presentations at my job. I don't know if you can tell, like pinned to post. I mean, people do that sometimes. I don't see what the point is, because if you want to see all my fics, you can just like go to my AO3. So, but I know a lot of people do it because it's a different platform, you know. So, oh, thank you, thank you guys. You were awesome. You had such good, useful things to say. Good questions. I will pin them in the workshops channel, and then I'm going to edit the video, just like in case there's background noise or anything weird. I'm going to run it through a couple filters, and then I will post the video again for people who didn't make it and want to see it. But of course, thank you guys. I need you all to know at the end of this, I just took a drink of water and spilled it all down my shirt. So if you thought I was classy, thank you. And again, I hope, yeah, that's a black shirt, sadly. So I hope that it's helpful. I hope it gave you some things to think about, you know. Good. I'm glad. I hope that, you know, it helps people feel more comfortable when you're commenting, to know, you know, what the artists and writers are thinking about. So, fucking Christ, this is over. A t-shirt and fucked up eggs, and Marcus's badonkadonk. Do not forget. I love this. I thought it would be a great first workshop. You know, and so I'll say, like, if any of you guys has a workshop that you want to put on, it does not have to be like this formal. It doesn't have to be a presentation. You don't have to do that. You know, we're looking for, especially because the mod team is mostly writers. If there are artists out there who are interested in kind of even just casually showing off, you know, techniques that you might know, or, you know, tips that might help, things like that, reach out to me. I will help you put it together. I think these kind of things help keep a fandom community going, you know? So, if there's any interest in that, writers who have ideas, Teen has already come up with one that, they're thinking of doing. I'm planning on putting one together about editing and, betaing. I would say you could use the workshops channel. I'm going to leave it in voice channels. There's no pressure. I mean, if you want to do something and not talk, then we can, Toast, I should make you do a workshop. You can see I took mine very seriously, right? They have very serious. Only serious business here with Marcus's badonkadonk. But anyway, you know, if you do want to do a workshop and you don't want to talk, you can use the text channel. So there's, you know, not even any pressure. I just, you know, figure somebody out there wants old lady ASMR, so I figured I'd talk for mine. But anyway, that's it. You guys are super awesome. Oh no. Oh, I hate that idea. Don't do a sub-drag workshop. Actually, that's really funny. I'm not gonna lie. That is kind of funny. Jay, you get out of here. You get out of here right now. All right. I'm gonna get off voice. We can stay here and chat about it. I'm gonna get off voice so that I can share the slides with you guys and everything. So thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being fun. And everybody has to go draw Marcus's badonkadonk. That's your homework. All right. Bye, guys.